about an Apple iWatch have been floating around the internet since the end of 2012. At the time of making this video, it's just still a rumour, but in the interim period we have seen some other smartwatches get released by other manufacturers. If we go back before the rumours of the iWatch, the thing that kicked all this smartwatch interest off, arguably, is the Pebble Watch. It was a Kickstarter campaign, got a massive amount of attention, and a lot of people ordered them. It took a long time to get delivered, and in the interim period a few other watches turned up on Kickstarter to ride on the interest of the Pebble. One of these was the Touch Time. It's a touchscreen e-ink watch. I ordered one and it had even longer delays coming to market than the Pebble. In fact, it only turned up a few weeks ago. Now, I was going to make a video about it and show you the features. To be honest, there isn't much here, but I stopped making the video halfway through and I'll explain why in a moment. But first, let's have a look at the watch. As you can see, it's quite a chunky watch. It's a touchscreen watch and it's got e-ink, which means you can see it from quite a lot of different angles. At the time, an e-ink watch was quite an exciting prospect, but remember, this was a couple of years ago now. So you can't touch the screen just like that. You have to touch at the bottom and drag up to unlock the screen. And then you can move through the different clock faces on here, watch faces I should say. Now this watch doesn't attach to a smartphone. You can't update it, you can't send anything to it, and you can't get anything off it. It's a self-contained unit. Basically, it's just a digital watch with a touch screen. These things look like the apps on an iPhone, but in reality they're just the kind of features that you get on a Casio databank calculator watch. You can see I've got a calculator on this one, quite hard to pick the numbers out, and you can see the multipliers and things are over the page. So it's a little bit fiddly to use, and in fact that's a running theme for this watch. The whole thing is very fiddly to use, and you realise you actually prefer having buttons on something like this. Reminders, you can set a reminder like a birthday one here, and I'll show you how you add another one of those. You click that plus at the top right if you can get your finger on it. You scroll down, you just pick what you want in here. I'm going to put Christmas in, so that's the 25th of December. You can see I'm having a little bit of trouble getting the right thing on the screen here. I've got to say, this touch screen is a big pain to use and not very pleasant at all. Now, if you want to delete one of those reminders, you just click the cog there and click the X next to it and then click delete. I'll show you a little bit about those later on as well, because they're not as much use as you might think. We've got a lunar thing here. Yeah, that's really good. I'll just look up at the moon next time I want to see that. And over here we've got some settings. I'll just show you a few of these quickly. We've got invert, and you can have sounds on for beeps and chime and things like that. I was going to go through this whole watch, and I realised there wasn't that much there. It wasn't that interesting, really. It wasn't worth making a video about. So this one's been sat around for a few weeks, and the only reason I've made it now is I just wanted to show you something that happened during the course of making this video. So I'll just show you a few more features, and then any second now you'll see something happen that probably shouldn't have happened. Right, now I'm having trouble scrolling over the pages. We're going to the alarm here. I'm just going to add an alarm, same way I did before, and oh, hold on a minute, nothing is working. And this was the problem. It crashed on me during my demonstration. So as you can see, I can't do anything with it at all. I'm getting beeps out of the screen. I can sort of make sounds like the intro to 24, just as you come out of the adverts, but that's about it. So I have to reset the watch now. I left it sitting around for a couple of hours and it didn't go back to the menu itself, so in the end I had to take the back off. It's got this removable back which you can take off with a coin. The battery in here is designed to last for quite a few months. I think it might be up to a year or something. That was one of the big features at the time, but notice here I've got a reset at the bottom there. Attach those two things together and it should reset the watch. So let's just put a bit of Y between those. You can see blanks out. Resets, goes back to the beginning, and there you go. So I now have to go back in and set the time and things once I've put the back on the watch. I'll be honest, that experience there killed it for me. Didn't want to wear the watch. I mean, who wants to wear a watch which might just crash on you at some point of the day? I mean, then you're just carrying around a useless bit of jewellery. Not a particularly attractive one either. So I'll show you how I set the time and things in this one. Just flick through these again. But as you can see, really hard to sort of pick things out. The hit points are very small. My fingers are pretty podgy. But having nails wouldn't help in this one because it's a capacitive screen, I think. So it needs to feel the finger rather than a resistance type screen. And that was it. So I was going to go through a few of these things. One thing I will actually show you is those reminders I mentioned before. The watch itself isn't particularly clever. The apps, as you might call them, don't talk to one another. For example, I'll just put something in here. If I can just get it on for 2 days in the future, which is easier said than done. 22nd of April is the date I've got in here. I got bored setting the date, so that's just what it ended up as. And if we can get back to that calendar, you should see something on the 22nd of April, but you don't. See at the bottom there, it's just a normal day, same as any other. The calendar app just shows you a calendar. It doesn't show you appointments or anything like that, just plain old calendar. So really, a very basic watch, few ugly watch faces, nothing really going on at all. Colossal waste of time actually, so it's just sat on the shelf since I got it. But that's the gamble you take when you back something on Kickstarter. In the meantime, I've made my own Apple Watch, and at the sound of the pips, it's time to say, as always, thanks for watching.